The Four Beasts of Daniel. The story of Daniel, the prophet in the Bible, starts when he and other young men from Judah were captured by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon around 604 BC. During his time in Babylonian and Medo-Persian governments, Daniel held prominent positions under rulers such as Nebuchadnezzar, Balthazar, Darius, and Cyrus. In the book of Daniel, there's a vision that the prophet records, given to him by God. In this vision, Daniel sees four powerful world empires represented by four different beasts. The vision tells us that these empires will have authority for a specific period, but eventually they will come to an end, and the holy people of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever. Yes, forever and ever. Have you ever thought about why we study Bible prophecy? First, it helps us see how God's word was fulfilled in Jesus Christ. It also gives us confidence in the promises God makes for our future. When we see how God kept his promises in the past, it helps us trust in what he says about what's to come. Daniel 7 marks the start of a new part of the book of Daniel. These prophecies are about thrones and kingdoms, placing us not just in Bible prophecy, but also in world history. God holds the future in his hands, so it's important to include him in our plans through prayer. Without God's involvement, our plans may be in vain. But when we seek God's guidance and receive confirmation and peace, we should act accordingly. Obedience shows our trust in God. Daniel experiences great distress from the vision of the four beasts until an angel explains its meaning to him. Even after understanding, the vision still troubles Daniel, causing him to keep his thoughts to himself and feel deeply troubled. Daniel's vision of the four beasts begins with a windy night and a troubled sea. As Daniel watches, the first of Daniel's four beasts is like a lion, and it had the wings of an eagle. In my vision that night, I, Daniel, saw a great storm churning the surface of a great sea, with strong winds blowing from every direction. Then 4 huge beasts came up out of the water, each different from the others. The first beast was like a lion with eagle's wings. As I watched, its wings were pulled off, and it was left standing with its 2 hind feet on the ground like a human being, and it was given a human mind. Then I saw a second beast, and it looked like a bear. It was rearing up on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And I heard a voice saying to it, "Get up, devour the flesh of many people." Then the third of these strange beasts appeared, and it looked like a leopard. It had 4 birds' wings on its back, and it had 4 heads. Great authority was given to this beast. Daniel 7, 2-6. We read, "Stirring up the great sea." The location mentioned in the vision, most likely the Mediterranean Sea, holds significance because each empire described in the vision had a geographical connection to it. For the Hebrew people, the sea represented danger and mystery, yet they believed that God had power over it. The sea is sometimes used as a symbol for Gentile nations in biblical literature, emphasizing their restlessness and unpredictable nature. Psalm 89:9. You rule the oceans. You subdue their storm-tossed waves. A description of the first 3 beasts. The first beast in Daniel's vision resembled a lion, representing the Babylonian Empire. This empire was described as majestic, like a lion, which symbolizes kingship and power. However, it was later humbled, as its wings were plucked off and a human heart was given to it. Daniel later explains that these 4 beasts symbolize the 4 kingdoms ruling over the earth. The Babylonian Empire, led by Nebuchadnezzar, fits perfectly as the first kingdom represented by the lion and eagle. Jeremiah also used the lion and eagle imagery to describe Nebuchadnezzar's authority, and relics like Babylon's winged lions can still be found today at places like the British Museum. Jeremiah 49:19 through 22. I will come like a lion from the thickets of the Jordan, leaping on the sheep in the pasture. I will chase Edom from its land, and I will appoint the leader of my choice. For who is like me, and who can challenge me? What ruler can oppose my will? Listen to the Lord's plans against Edom and the people of Teman. Even the little children will be dragged off like sheep, and their homes will be destroyed. The earth will shake with the noise of Edom's fall, and its cry of despair will be heard all the way to the Red Sea. Look, the enemy swoops down like an eagle, spreading his wings over Bozrah. Even the mightiest warriors will be in anguish like a woman in labor. A second like a bear. The second beast in Daniel's vision was not as majestic as the lion or the eagle. Instead, it was like a bear, known for its strength and power, with a voracious appetite for conquest. This bear represented the Medo-Persian Empire, which came after the Babylonian Empire. In this empire, the Persians were dominant, symbolized by the bear's partnership between the Medes and the Persians. The three ribs often seen with the bear are believed to represent the empire's three major military conquests: Babylon, Egypt, and Lydia. The Medo-Persian armies were known for their slow and crushing tactics, overwhelming their enemies with their sheer size and strength. They were compared to a bear due to their cruelty and thirst for blood, as bears are known to be voracious and fierce animals. We read, "Arise, devour much flesh." The command for the bear to arise and devour much flesh highlights the extreme cruelties commonly associated with the Persians and the vast extent of their conquests. It's worth noting that historically, the Median kingdom was contemporary with the Babylonian Empire, and even rose to power before the Neo-Babylonian period. However, the Median kingdom never attained the same level of global influence as the Persian, Greek, or Babylonian empires. Some interpretations aim to exclude any reference to Rome and divine predictive prophecy, possibly motivated by various factors. The third beast. We read, "Another like a leopard." The leopard in Daniel's vision was known for its sudden and unexpected attacks, symbolizing the Greek Empire. This empire, led by Alexander the Great, conquered vast territories at an astonishing speed by the age of 28. Alexander's conquest stretched from Europe to the Indian Ocean, making him one of history's most successful conquerors. After Alexander's death, his empire was divided into 4 parts, represented by the 4 heads of the leopard. These divisions were ruled by his generals, Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. During Daniel's time, the Babylonian Empire was dominant, so one might have expected the next empire to be the Medo-Persian Empire, especially during the reign of Belshazzar. However, Daniel's vision accurately foretold the rise and division of the Greek Empire, demonstrating God's ability to know and reveal the future through his prophets. This underscores the fact that God exists beyond our concept of time and has a comprehensive view of human history. The fulfillment of such prophecies provides compelling evidence of God's omniscience and sovereignty. Because of that experience, we have even greater confidence in the message proclaimed by the prophets. You must pay close attention to what they wrote, for their words are like a lamp shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and Christ, the morning star, shines in your hearts. The fourth beast, a dreadful horned beast with one conspicuous horn. Daniel 7:7 through 8. Then in my vision that night, I saw a fourth beast, terrifying, dreadful, and very strong. It devoured and crushed its victims with huge iron teeth and trampled their remains underneath its feet. It was different from any of the other beasts, and it had 10 horns. As I was looking at the horns, suddenly another small horn appeared among them. 3 of the first horns were torn out by the roots to make room for it. This little horn had eyes like human eyes, and a mouth that was boasting arrogantly. A 4th beast, dreadful and terrible. The 4th beast in Daniel's vision was so terrifying and powerful that it defied description. It had 10 horns, symbolizing its strength and dominance. In ancient times, horns represented the power and fierceness of an animal, and this beast was so formidable that it had 10 horns. Different interpretations suggest that these 10 horns could have been 2 5-pointed antlers or 10 separate horns. Historically, this 4th beast represents the Roman Empire, which was the largest, strongest, most unified, and enduring of all the empires mentioned. There is a clear connection between these 10 horns and the 10 toes of the dream image in chapter 2 of Daniel. The mention of iron in the teeth of the beast suggests a similarity to the legs and toes of iron in that image. Based on the interpretation that the Antichrist emerges from the 4th beast in Daniel's vision, it's speculated that in the end times there will be a revival of the Roman Empire. This revival would involve a coalition of 10 world leaders, similar to the 10 horns on the 4th beast. The Antichrist would rise to power within this coalition, supplanting 3 of the leaders to take a position of global authority. As a tyrant, the Antichrist would demand worship and seek to control all aspects of life. This interpretation suggests a scenario where the Antichrist establishes a totalitarian regime, exerting control over people's beliefs, behaviors, and daily activities. Revelation 13, 16 through 17. He required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Indeed, there is a significant parallel between the little horn in Daniel 7 and the first beast described in Revelation 13. Both figures are associated with 10 horns, suggesting a connection between them. The description of the beast in Revelation, resembling a leopard but with features of a bear and a lion, mirrors the characteristics of the beasts mentioned in Daniel's vision. This similarity reinforces the idea that these visions in Daniel and Revelation are related and may be describing the same future events. The imagery of the leopard, bear, and lion, combined with the 10 horns, symbolizes a powerful and menacing force that emerges in the end times. The convergence of these descriptions across different prophetic texts underscores the significance of these events in eschatological prophecy. Revelation 13:2. This beast looked like a leopard, but it had the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave the beast his own power and throne and great authority. In simpler terms, the beast mentioned in Revelation combines features from all of Daniel's beasts. Like Daniel's 4th beast, John's beast speaks arrogantly and oppresses God's people for 3.5 years. This shows how the visions in both Daniel and Revelation share common themes, emphasizing the importance of these prophecies in understanding future events. Revelation 13, 5 through 7. Then the beast was allowed to speak great blasphemies against God, and he was given authority to do whatever he wanted for 42 months. And he spoke terrible words of blasphemy against God, slandering his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. And the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And he was given authority to rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. The good news is that the reign of the Antichrist is limited, 42 months and no more. Then God promises to judge the little horn, or, as John saw it, the beast was captured and was thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. The Son of Man will rule forever. Daniel 7:26. But then the court will pass judgment, and all his power will be taken away and completely destroyed. Revelation 19:20. And the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet, who did mighty miracles on behalf of the beast, miracles that deceived all who had accepted the mark of the beast and who worshipped his statue. Both the beast and his false prophet were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. John also reveals similar visions as Daniel. Revelation 13:1, Amplified Bible. And the dragon, Satan, stood on the sandy shore of the sea. Then I saw a vicious beast coming up out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his horns were 10 royal crowns, diadems, and on his heads were blasphemous names. The Antichrist. The first of the beasts is a monstrosity that has 10 horns and 7 heads, and a dragon grants it power and authority. One of these heads is mortally wounded, but is healed. The beast speaks blasphemies against God and aggressively opposes the people of God wherever they may be found on earth. It not only rules the world, but receives the worship of its inhabitants. The first beast is a symbolic picture of the Antichrist, and the dragon is Satan. Note that anti in Greek means instead of rather than against, meaning a counterfeit rather than a competitor, the man of lawlessness. His characteristics are similar to those of other fearsome beasts such as leopards, bears, and lions. He appears to be from a federation of political rulers who have captured the world's attention through an astonishing recovery from a fatal wound, most likely in an attempted assassination. The number 666 is the dictator's coded name. Revelation 17:9, Amplified Bible. The beast that you saw was once, but now is not, and he is about to come up out of the abyss, the bottomless pit, the dwelling place of demons, and go to destruction, perdition. And the inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he was and is not and is yet to come to earth. And the beast that once was but is not is himself also an 8th king, and is one of the 7, and he goes to destruction, perdition. The beast, also known as the Antichrist, can be identified without a doubt as the 8th king. In the sense that he has qualities with all of the prior world empires, he is one of the 7, but his demise is already predetermined. The word perdition literally translates to destruction, and that is exactly what will happen to the beast. Revelation 17:12-15, Amplified Bible. The 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but together they receive authority as kings for a single hour, for a common purpose, along with the beast. These kings have one purpose, one mind, one common goal, and they give their power and authority to the beast. They will wage war against the Lamb, Christ, and the Lamb will triumph and conquer them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him and on his side are the called and chosen, elect and faithful. Then the angel said to me, the waters which you saw, where the prostitute is seated, are peoples and multitudes and nations and languages. 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet. This probably alludes to a 10-nation confederation. Whatever their exact identity, their actions are apparent. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4, Amplified Bible. Let no one in any way deceive or entrap you, for that day will not come unless the apostasy comes first, that is, the great rebellion, the abandonment of the faith by professed Christians, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction, the Antichrist, the one who is destined to be destroyed, who opposes and exalts himself so proudly and so insolently above every so-called God or object of worship, so that he actually enters and takes his seat in the temple of God, publicly proclaiming that he himself is God. The political support that these 10 rulers would provide for the Antichrist will be ordained by God. The world will get exactly what it asks for, which is godless religion and godless government. Rome was the ready personification of Babylon. Let me clarify the true meaning of the term Antichrist. The word Christ is from the Greek word Christos, which exactly corresponds to the Hebrew word Messiah, from which we get Messiah. So when we say Antichrist, that means anti-Messiah. With this, John referred to an individual who has captured the imagination of many people, some who don't even know the Bible. However, many are not knowledgeable about this individual known as the Antichrist. While Jesus was known for his beauty and charisma, the Antichrist's personality and character will be unappealing and unpleasant. Jesus always spoke the truth, while the Antichrist would only utter falsehoods. The Antichrist will look wonderful, be charming and successful. He will be the ultimate winner and appear as an angel of light. In this sense, the Antichrist will be a satanic Messiah, instead of the true Messiah, Jesus Christ. In the book of 1 John 2:18, the author mentioned both the Antichrist and many Antichrists. According to the text, there is a spirit associated with the Antichrist, and this spirit will eventually lead to the emergence of the Antichrist, who will lead humanity in a rebellion against God during the end times. In other words, though the world still waits to see the ultimate revelation of the Antichrist, there are little previews of this man and his mission to come. These are the Antichrists with a little a. Though we commonly call this coming world leader the Antichrist, the Bible gives him many names or titles. He is known as the man of lawlessness, the son of perdition. 2 Thessalonians 2:3, New American Standard Bible. No one is to deceive you in any way, for it will not come unless the apostasy comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. Further in John's teaching we read, "By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, and every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming, and now it is already in the world." Throughout the history of mankind, many Antichrists have appeared and been manifested. There is the Antichrist, a particular person. According to Scripture, at the end of this age, a powerful ruler, known as the Antichrist, will reign over mankind for a brief period. This represents the ultimate manifestation of evil. As we approach the end of the age, the spirit of the Antichrist will become more intense, and we will find ourselves battling against it more frequently. This spirit works through every Antichrist. Identifying marks of this spirit. John has given us distinctive signs of the spirit of the Antichrist. These are of great importance. The mark of this spirit is that it denies that Jesus is the Messiah. As we see in 1 John 2:22, "Who is a liar but he that denieth that Jesus is the Christ?" And then John continues, "He is Antichrist, that denieth the Father and the Son." Remember this, the spirit of the Antichrist does not deny the existence of God. Indeed, the Antichrist will claim to be God's representative, Godhead. The spirit denies the Messiah has come. It probably believes in the Messiah who will come, but denies that the Messiah has already come. Here we see the fourth title, the beast, a person who is going to arise to whom Satan, the dragon, will impart his power. John's vision of a beast rising from the sea. In Revelation 12, John's vision mainly had heaven in view. Now, the scene of his vision shifted to the earth, and in his vision he stood on the sand of the sea. John refers to this creature as a beast, not a dragon, as described in Revelation 12:3. This creature symbolizes someone distinct from Satan, represented by the dragon, Revelation 12:9. Though this beast is distinct from the dragon of Revelation 12, he is still closely identified with him. He is not the dragon, but he is like him because the dragon also had 7 heads and 10 horns. Why will Satan give his power to that person? Because this will enable that person to gain dominion over the entire human race and convince all mankind to do the one thing Satan most desires, to worship him. His goal has been a long-term project which he has worked on patiently for many centuries. An image is set up of the beast, and the whole world is commanded to worship it. Throughout history, men have often bowed down to an image of a political ruler. The Antichrist is also called the son of perdition, 2 Thessalonians 2:3, as was Judas. John 17:12. While I was with them, I was keeping them in your name, which you have given me, and I guarded them, and not one of them perished except the son of destruction, so that the scripture would be fulfilled. This world leader is empowered and supported by Satan. Through this man, Satan will express his desire and authority. In this, the beast takes the offer that Jesus refused, Matthew 4:8-10. Matthew 4:8-10, New American Standard Bible. Again, the devil took him along to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory, and he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, go away, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. The beast and his wound. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. The beast's recovery increases his fame and authority. All the world marveled and follows the beast. Twice later, Revelation 13:12 and 13:14, this recovery is mentioned in connection to the world's worship and devotion to the beast. Revelation 13:12. He exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and he makes the earth and those who live on it worship the first beast, whose fatal wound was healed. We read the terms wounded, healed. This is indeed an Antichrist who even imitates Jesus in his death and resurrection. The world will believe this, and it will add tremendously to his fame and power. We then see the authority and popularity of the beast. The power of the beast will astonish the world, leading people to believe he is invincible. According to Daniel, the speaker who has impressive speaking skills will not only use fancy language, but will also speak disrespectfully about God. The Antichrist is described as a man whose appearance was greater than his brothers. Many people will find him highly attractive because of his charm, eloquence, and striking appearance. The Antichrist will progress from being a regional leader to a world leader, a ruthless global tyrant, and finally, a god. The beast's blasphemies. Revelation 13:5-6, New American Standard Bible. A mouth was given to him, speaking arrogant words and blasphemies, and authority to act for 42 months was given to him. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, that is, those who dwell in heaven. Blasphemer may be a more accurate title than Antichrist for this end times dictator. This individual is someone who speaks out against God and opposes everything that God represents, including his name, his dwelling place, and the inhabitants of heaven. Some Roman emperors blasphemed God this way, but they did not fulfill these prophecies, even if they did prefigure their fulfillment. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. According to biblical prophecy, the beast will be allowed to act without restraint for 42 months, which is equivalent to 3.5 years. The beast makes war against the saints. Revelation 13:7, New American Standard Bible. It was also given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and authority was given to him over every tribe, people, language, and nation. The government of the beast will persecute and extinguish all those who do not bow and worship to the beast. The Antichrist and the unholy trinity. What is the unholy trinity? The unholy trinity's first person and father is Satan. The Antichrist will be the evil trinity's second member and son. The third part of the unholy trinity, the false prophet, will guide the people's worship and acclaim back to the Antichrist. Satan often tries to imitate or counterfeit God's work to make himself seem like God. Satan's common strategy is to imitate or counterfeit God's creations in order to appear to be like God. The so-called unholy trinity, as vividly described in Revelation 12 and 13, is no exception. The Holy Trinity is made up of God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet are their unholy trinity counterfeit. The first person and father of the unholy trinity is Satan. The Antichrist will be the unholy trinity's second member and son. The third member of the unholy trinity, the false prophet, will direct the people's worship and praise back to the Antichrist. The Holy Trinity embodies infinite truth, love, and goodness. However, the unholy trinity exhibits the diametrically opposed characteristics of deception, hatred, and pure evil. The world will be completely enthralled by the Antichrist after this wondrous event. They will worship Satan as well as the Antichrist. The Antichrist will not be alone. The false prophet is the final member of the unholy trinity as described in Revelation 13:11 through 18. Revelation 13:11 through 18, New American Standard Bible. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. He exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and he makes the earth and those who live on it worship the first beast, whose fatal wound was healed. He performs great signs so that he even makes fire come down out of the sky to the earth in the presence of people. And he deceives those who live on the earth because of the signs which it was given him to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who live on the earth to make an image to the beast who had the wound of the sword and has come to life. And it was given to him to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast would even speak and cause all who do not worship the image of the beast to be killed. And he causes all, the small and the great, the rich and the poor, and the free and the slaves, to be given a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, and he decrees that no one will be able to buy or to sell except the one who has the mark, either the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for the number is that of a man, and his number is 666. This second beast emerges from the earth rather than the sea. Although he appears meek, mild, and benevolent, the horns indicate that he will wield power. Jesus expressly cautioned followers to watch out for false prophets, who may seem innocent but may cause a great deal of damage. Matthew 7:15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. According to Revelation 13:13, the false prophet has the ability to perform impressive miracles, including summoning fire from the heavens. He raises an image of the Antichrist for worship, gives the image life, demands that all people worship the image, and executes those who refuse to worship the image. Paul declared that the Antichrist will come with all power, signs, and lying wonders. 2 Thessalonians 2:9. Revelation 13:14 through 15, New American Standard Bible. And he deceives those who live on the earth because of the signs which it was given him to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who live on the earth to make an image to the beast who had the wound of the sword and has come to life. And it was given to him to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast would even speak and cause all who do not worship the image of the beast to be killed. It is said that the false prophet will require all individuals to get a permanent mark, similar to how slaves were marked in the past to show their complete loyalty to the Antichrist and rejection of God. This mark will be necessary to engage in any business transactions. Accepting the mark results in eternal death. Revelation 14:10. According to the Bible, those who accept the mark are not only accepting an economic system, but also a worship system that rejects Jesus Christ. The number of the beast is revealed in Revelation 13:18, 666. We read of a mark on the right hand or on their foreheads. Satan is not a creative being. All he can do is imitate God. We are not surprised to find that this, too, is a satanic parody of something God will do. It imitates God's mark upon his people. Revelation 7:3-4, New American Standard Bible, saying, "Do not harm the earth, or the sea, or the trees, until we have sealed the bondservants of our God on their foreheads." And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000, sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. It is interesting to compare Daniel's vision of the four beasts with King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a large statue. Both visions symbolize the same kingdoms of the world. In Daniel 2, the king dreams of the earthly kingdoms as an enormous, dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. Daniel 2:31, "In your vision, your majesty, you saw standing before you a huge, shining statue of a man. It was a frightening sight." However, Daniel sees the same kingdoms as hideous beasts. So we have two very different perspectives on the kingdoms mankind builds. The rulers of the world see their kingdoms as imposing, artistic monuments, fashioned of valuable metals. However, God's prophets view the same kingdoms as unnatural monsters. Daniel's vision of the four beasts warned Israel that there would be a procession of enemies and world rulers holding authority over them. However, they should not lose heart. In the end, God is in control, and the Messiah to come will defeat the kingdoms of this world and establish his throne forever. Daniel 2:44. During the reigns of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed or conquered. It will crush all these kingdoms into nothingness, and it will stand forever. Daniel 7:13-14. As my vision continued that night, I saw someone like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient One and was led into his presence. He was given authority, honor, and sovereignty over all nations of the world, so that people of every race and nation and language would obey him. His rule is eternal. It will never end. His kingdom will never be destroyed. Revelation 11:15. Then the seventh angel blew his trumpet, and there were loud voices shouting in heaven, "The world has now become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he will reign forever and ever."